For me, the broken road is all that's left. But I'll always remember.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about my beloved Days Gone, but from Ben's studio, and the previews that were dropped this week from everybody, and the previews are fire. Everybody is talking about Days Gone. Everybody is loving Days Gone. There is so much that they revealed in these previews, so I am so excited to talk about it all with you guys. We're going to break it down. Don't you worry. We're going to talk about the facts. We're going to talk about my conspiracy theories, what they showed, what I think is going to happen, and we are going to tear it apart piece by piece. Okay, so let's get to it and talk about this game because you know I am all about it. First things first. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about today is the use of the DualShock Pad on the controller, where it will bring up, when it's pressed, it'll bring up 4 separate actions. We can gain access to the storyline, which I'm going to talk about. We're going to gain access to the storyline, inventory, skills, and the map. Up, down, left, right. So when I heard them talking about the storylines, and in this open world game, I thought this was brilliant. I couldn't believe that no one has thought of this before. How we keep track of all the stories in the storyline could get very confusing in an open world game when you're trying to do everything and you want to follow the golden path, but you want to follow everything else. The main storylines, it keeps track of where you are in the story. They got the idea from Netflix, how they go through, how we binge watch things and how we go through things. I thought it was brilliant. I'm so happy they're using this to access the stories, see how far the progression. We can leave one storyline, go back to it. Brilliant. I am so thrilled with this. I'm so thrilled with this, and I can't believe no one thought of this sooner. So shout out to you, Ben Studio, for bringing this for people who are obsessed and really want to go through everything and make sure they don't miss anything. So the storyline. So this tells you the active storylines, the storylines progress, and collectibles. I love seeing all this, so we know what we missed, what we didn't get. This is fantastic. I'm so hyped about this alone. There's the inventory tab, which has the gear, supplies, materials, and crafting. And then the skills show us the melee, the ranged, and the survival skills. The 3 separate set of skills. I like how they break it down individually. I love how they itemize it. I'm all about it. On the right side is the map. Okay, so we have map, we have the storyline, we have the inventory, we have the skills. Okay, so when you go to the skills tab, you do the drop down to the skills tab, this will show you the melee combat. I like how it has the endurance levels for the weapons, health, stamina, and focus. I mean, the way they itemize this, I mean, I am a sucker for knowing everything that's going on in the game, and I love stats. So this is right up my alley. Now we know that Deacon's melee weapon that he will have on him the entire game, will never break, is his boot knife. Okay, so this shows the boot knife, and it's not the sharpest of tools, it's not the most deadliest of tools, but it will help you out in a jam when you have nothing else. So it looks like we have his brass knuckles and his boot knife, and then we have in the middle all the different types of guns that he will be using, and it looks like there's a campfire symbol there next to the guns. It also tells you the percentage, I guess, of before the next level up. 53% here. We have skill level number 7, skill points. It breaks everything down for you and itemizes it for you. And what really interested me here were all the individual skill points that you could accumulate. This one is for escape artist, kill smaller enemies after successfully escaping from a grappler. And it shows you the breakdown. There's like 3, 4, 5. Looks like there's 5 separate sections. Focus shot, ability to activate focus while aiming a ranged weapon. The escape artist is the melee section. Then there's the ranged section and the different upgrades within this itemized part in this itemized section. On the move, ability to reload ranged weapon while sprinting. Looks like there's 15 upgrades per each section. Iron grip, this is the range section. Significantly reduces ranged weapon recoil. And it tells you the skill points. This is crowd control. I really, really appreciate the color coding they have for this, how they have it broken down. I love the customization that each of these sections have. I love how it tells us everything we need to know. Red is not purchased, green is purchased. Like, I love how they color code it. They section it, they itemize everything. Eye for detail, the survival is green, the ranged is like a blue, and the melee is like teal green. Hawk-eyed, plants are displayed on the mini-map, so this must be collecting different plants. For survival, eye for detail increases the time that icons display in survival vision. Okay, so this just are all the different upgrades for the 3 sections of the gameplay. We know from the beginning, since they've been talking about this since they first announced it, we're going to be MacGyvering our way through this game. We are going to be fixing things on the run. Whatever we can find in the environment is going to help us survive in this world. The weapon wheel we've seen before, and everyone is saying that the weapon wheel is very easy to use. It's very intuitive, user-friendly, which I'm really happy about that, because sometimes these crafting systems can be so complex and you're like, it's not even worth it because it's just too much trouble, or like you have so much other things going on in the game. I'm glad it's easy to use and it's quick to use, so when you're in the middle of a combat situation, you could craft on the fly, which I really appreciated. This is the bounties, Swarmer ear. You can collect ears to gain trust in these different encampments, which is really important. Okay, so let's move on to the inventory. It looks like a screwdriver and a wrench. God help me, I have no idea what kind of tools are what, but it looks like a screwdriver and a wrench to me. So it looks like you have 100% of your tools that you could carry. 215 out of 215. There's your gas mileage. And this is all in the upper left-hand corner. How many gallons you have out of how many you've used. On the bottom left, it looks like a mechanism, probably for parts. It looks like cards next to it. It looks like cards next to it. I don't know what that is. It looks like a spade. I don't know if it's collectibles. That's probably a collectible. I don't know what the next icon is. It looks like maybe like food stacked up. And the next one is a plant, which I've seen this before. In the 1 hour, the original 1 hour gameplay that they first released, when I broke it down like frame by frame, I noticed that these little plants were highlighted in the environment. So obviously this is where we will use them, and this is where it will show how many we collect in this part. Now this number at the bottom, it looks like a little like smoke coming up. Looks like a cent sign, 8,955, a badge, a check mark, and the number 1. I love the mongrel icon logo there, is awesome. This is his gear. It's open. This is Deacon's like backpack with all scraps, his collectibles of items that he collects throughout the world. It looks like a toolbox. Next to it, the third icon looks like probably his Molotovs and his explosive devices. Next to that, it looks like the badge with the tools on it. So this just breaks down each individual inventory item. And in the upper right, we have the storylines, the L1 we can scroll past, storylines, map, skills, inventory. Just FYI, a lot of these screenshots that I'm showing you are straight from a few videos that were on the internet, mainly from What's Good Games with Andrea Renee, interviewed John Garvin, and the video that she showed the gameplay. So the preview for Days Gone, this was the content that they showed. Also, Game Riot, his channel on YouTube. So check out their channels for the entire videos. These are just screenshots from them, what they have used. So they have the full videos up on their channel if you want to see more than screenshots. Okay, so let's go to the map. While we're in the map, let's talk about a few things. But the first thing I want to talk about is this number in the upper right-hand corner, 731 days gone. Okay, it tells you the time, it tells you the weather. Now, obviously, this is days gone. How many days have gone since the whole outbreak started, since the apocalypse started, the end of the world, and the start of the Freaker invasion. 731 days. So like they said, it was like 2+ years since the apocalypse. This is what they've been saying. The timeline has been for the game has been based around. It's fairly new. That's why cars are still working. Batteries are still able to be car batteries are still be able to be used. That's why car alarms are still working. That's why you can still get gas. I think that's interesting. They actually show you how many days gone. I wonder how that works in real time while we play, or if it's just a set time whenever you get there within the gameplay, that's how many days gone will be shown. So I don't know if it actually will be real time. I don't think so. It's probably just a set number as you go through the golden path and through the actual story beats of the game. It looks so good. I tell you, I'm so impressed by the storyline items here. This one is I remember, visit Sarah's memorial stone. What did you do? Additional storylines. This is what I like. So this is like the branching storyline. It starts out as I remember, and there's an additional storyline, finding Nero. You can deselect missions as you go. You can select which ones you want to follow. Then once you go into the actual storylines, it brings you to the active storylines. It tells you how far you've progressed. It tells you the collectibles and the trophies, which I'm so excited. I love seeing all of this. I love seeing the everything itemized. I love organization. I love it. I'm so thrilled with this. I'm nerding out over it so hard. So we have Bounty Hunter, Nice and Bloody, and I remember there's Sarah Girl, Clear the Abandoned Nero Refugee Camp. Additional storylines tells you how much has been done. There's the little helicopter for Nero. You're going to follow the helicopter. Now that we got through a majority of the screenshots for the menu screens, which is I really wanted to break down and really talk about in detail because there's so much there and I'm so excited for all of it. It tells us a lot about the game and how we will be using these. And it seems so user-friendly. It's so intuitive. It breaks down everything for you. There's no like guessing where I am. And the one thing I wonder about is the save points. I wonder how forgiving the save points will be, very selfishly, because I know I'll probably be dying a lot. But speaking of dying a lot, I know originally they had said that there was going to be one mode of difficulty. It was going to be hard difficulty because playing on a lesser difficulty wouldn't make the game seem as dangerous and as that like the stakes wouldn't be as high. They said this back when they did the 1 hour when they showed off the 1 hour to Game Informer. I think it was last summer, May or June. But now they are, if I am wrong, please correct me. But I'm almost positive that they said they are now doing different difficulty settings. They didn't say exactly what they were, but don't send me no hate. Don't read me to filth if that is wrong. But I'm almost positive that it's now back to different difficulty settings. So it will make it, if you are having a hard time playing, you can go back on the difficult. You can go back on an easier difficulty. I usually play everything on like normal mode, and then once I'm done with the game, if I want a bigger challenge, I'll go back and I'll do it on hard mode or harder mode. I feel like it helps you once you play it on a normal mode because you sometimes get too frustrated when you don't really know the game well or the mechanics well. So that's just my preference. Tell me in the comments what you guys think. Are you glad? I am glad because I don't want to spend a lot of the time dying in the game, which I know is going to happen, but because I know I'm going to freak out when I see those freakers. Like, that's the real tea. I'm going to be screaming an awful lot in this game, but I can't wait to play it. Okay, so now we have different characters that we have never seen before. Okay, so we have the character of Lisa Jackson. She is a child. She needs to be rescued. So we are tasked with rescuing her, bringing her back. You go through Marion Forks, John Garvin said, and you're going to help find this girl, Lisa. So it looks like she is scared. There's a scene where she's hugging Deacon and she has her trophies. It looks like she's still attached to her old life. It looks like that's her room. Assuming Lisa Jackson is her with the name on the trophy. So she is one of the companions in the game. Then there is a character named Ricky who lives at Lost Lake Camp. That's where Deacon and Boozer used to live, but they have some differences of opinion, so they had to go. Ricky is supposedly an important piece of the story overall. We don't know much, but this is the first we're hearing of Ricky, so he's going to be an important character. Not sure how or why, but we are going to find out. But most importantly in this video, in this preview, we are shown Deacon and Sarah when they first meet. Okay, so there's no audio on the video that was shown. It looks like Miss Sarah is stuck on the side of the road. It looks like her car has died. She is trying to fix it. Deacon comes upon her, and it looks like he's asking her if she needs help. It looks like she's saying, boy, I don't need no help. You know, I got this. I'm okay. It's adorable because she like rubs her face and she's got like the dirt on her hands and it like on her face. And Deacon's trying to keep a straight face, trying not to like laugh at her. And she has no idea that she's got dirt on her face. And then he shows her, and it looks like they have this instant connection. It looks like she reluctantly, you know, goes with him on the bike. You know, he goes to like take off and then he backs up, and they get on the bike together and they ride off. So that is their origin story. They show us how they actually meet, and this we will be seeing in the opening hour, which I'm going to get to. One of the main things that we learned from this preview as well is that the hour that we were shown last year has now changed. So we get to see more of Sarah, and we get to see Sarah and Deacon together and their relationship together, which I can't wait to unfold and see and experience for myself. One other thing I want to talk about that came out about a few days ago, was there's been articles and there's been rumblings for a while that there were a lot of cutscenes. I think I reported on it last January, I think I reported on it on my OCD gaming news, but it was confirmed the exact amount of time is around 6 hours of cutscenes. And let me tell you something, I have never been so happy to hear that in my life. I live for an immersive, story-driven game. Give me the cutscenes, give me the gameplay, give me everything that ties together, that makes me care about these characters, that makes me want to go on this journey with them, and it's going to be everything. So I'm all here for that 6 hours of cutscenes. Let me tell you, I'm so glad that we get to dive deep into these characters and their story. Here we have the mission complete screen that pops up. Bear Creek Hot Springs Ambush Camp, 54%. Looks like 1500 XP. Mission complete Hot Springs. We get the badge. I guess this is the shows us the XP in the top right corner. 63%. 750 plus trust. 10,550 out of 12,500. There's the badge. And these are the symbols that I'm sure that will go into the trophies and the completion. And this also shows us the storyline that's updated. Ambush Camp Hunter. Goal Marauder ambush camps are set up all along the major travel routes. I have to clear them out, or I'm going to keep running into snipers, clothesline traps, or worse. So, and there is like the little fire symbol, 7%, and it tells you the XP, and it says ambush camp under storyline updated. Okay, so this just keeps it going for us. So we know what our progress is. Unlocked. There looks like a camp, ambush camp hunter. It looks like a campfire symbol. And this is interesting, which actually shows us a Deacon upgrading his bike to 100%. We have to repair it. We have to keep our bike in tip-top shape, or we are going to be in trouble. This game, we're going to need our drifter bike throughout this entire game. This is just a screenshot of more of the gameplay. 7 out of 9 clear camp of freakers. What did you do is the name of the mission. I like that it keeps track of everything. Everything is itemized. Love it. Okay, so let's talk about the Game Informer article about the 10 big takeaways after 5 hours that they had with the game. This article is written by Jeff Cork. Okay, so basically, with the intro that we saw last year, they have edited, they have streamlined it, they have made it a lot tighter. It's more structured. They really wanted to teach the player how to survive in the open world and really make use of their time efficiently as possible, which I can totally appreciate, because everyone knows we have to learn the ropes when we first start a new game, or you're not going to have a good playthrough if you're kind of just winging it. But now that they've done this, it will streamline it. It'll be exciting while you're playing it. They show you how the game's melee combat works in this section, specifically the mission where we're riding on the back of Boozer's bike. Instead of just having them pushing the car, they have them actually getting into a fight, a melee, so they're able to use their melee weapons. There's a melee section there, and they say we really see how Boozer works, and he knows how to handle himself in a fight. Okay, now, one of the biggest changes that I know a lot of the fans were up in arms about, but I have to tell you, I'm kind of happy that they changed it. So what I'm talking about was in the original first hour of gameplay that they showed last year. It showed that Deacon had to make choices on how that was going to affect his best friend Boozer and his choices in the world, how people saw him or viewed him. And now I'm all for player choice, but I feel like thematically it never really works out. I feel like you always get the same outcome either way. It might be a long road to get there, but you're still going to get there. It's still going to be the game that they want you to play. It's still going to be the experience they want you to experience. So even though he might, this might cause like, you know, ripples in the storyline and in the dialogue between him and Boozer and their friendship, I am so happy they took it out, because I feel like, yes, there's player choice, but I feel like they have a story to tell. I feel like Ben Studio has a story to tell, and they're going to tell it the way they want to tell it. I feel like you can take Boozer's shotgun, but you'll be that jerk who took Boozer's shotgun, who's got third-degree burns and laying up, you know, practically, you know, dying, waiting for Deacon to get him some help and some meds. So, but if you don't take it, you know, you're the guy who doesn't have a shotgun. So it's like, I feel like it's counterproductive, and I'm actually kind of glad that they took it out. I won't miss it at all, because I feel like this is a story they want to tell, and I'm here for it. So I know a lot of people aren't happy about that, and that's okay. It's just preference. I feel like the story will be better for it to take those choices out, because they have a story to tell, and they want to show Deacon in a certain light, and they want to remain true to their story. So you know, I'm all for it. And it wasn't like an easy decision, they said, to come to that. So Deacon being the main character in the game, maybe they were trying to play him like an anti-hero, but he kind of came off a little like not that great when he was like yelling at Boozer, like, oh, do I have to track? He was like annoyed. He was bothered every time that Boozer had to try and force him to teach him to do something, and he was not having it, and he was a little reluctant, and it kind of made him come off as a little abrasive, let's just say that. So now he just takes his tracker job very seriously, and he just does it on his own. He doesn't have to be told. He's not the reluctant tracker anymore, and I'm glad, because you know, you like they said, like, you want to like Deacon. This way he was like coming off complaining the house. He was being a little bit of a complainer. So I'm glad they just took that away, because, you know, we don't need to see him as an anti-hero. We know already that he has to survive in this world, and he's going to have to do things that are bad things to survive. And he's going to have to do a lot of things that is going to make him not the best person. So we're already going to see that. We don't need to have it built in and kind of like forced on us that he's like, you know, this reluctant hero type of guy. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think. But the most important takeaway from me from this is that instead of just seeing Deacon and Boozer on the trail, we see Sarah, Deacon's wife, at the beginning with Deacon and Boozer. She was, you know, we knew that we could tell from like the very first trailer, she was on the back of his bike. He has her name tattooed on his neck. They're together. The outbreak happens. They've all been wounded, and they're trying to board the helicopter for evacuation, and there's limited space. Deacon puts her on a helicopter. He goes back to help Boozer, and supposedly the helicopter crashes, and there is, you know, they're overrun. So it is not canon yet that Sarah dies in the outbreak, but they assume she has passed. They assume she has been killed in the outbreak. We don't know what happens. It is not confirmed that she is dead, but we're assuming that she is, and I'm hoping we're wrong. I'm hoping there is a twist, because it would be everything. So I guess that's what we'll be waiting to see as the story unfolds. Is she alive? Is she dead? Will they be reunited? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I can't wait to see what's going to happen. And we're going to be seeing Sarah in a bunch of the flashbacks. She's a botanist for a bioengineering company. She teaches Deacon about some homeopathic remedies, kind of lays the groundwork that the pandemic may not have been entirely natural. There's the military is involved. It all seems very shady to me. We're going to have to wait and see. But you know that the NERO department, National Emergency Research Organization, so they are in charge. It seems very shady. You know they're going to have something to do with this entire outbreak, and it's going to be because of them. You know, the military is involved. You know it's going to be some shady shenanigans. Okay, you're going to have to really use your stealthing abilities. It will help you get through a lot of the game. You cannot go in guns blazing in a lot of these areas. You're going to regret it. Being stealthy is so important to survive in this world. You have limited resources. You have limited ammo. I am assuming that the stealthier you can get through these areas that are overrun with the freakers and the different classes of freakers, of infected, you're going to have to be very careful. But you can also use all the weapons in your arsenal when you have to, when shit goes down. It just seems like there's going to be a lot of choices involved. Do we raid the Nero checkpoint? Are we willing to risk what could happen because they are overrun with freakers and infected? Or do we just keep it moving? You have to be careful what time of day. They have a day-night cycle. They have, they are alive, so they eat, they drink, they sleep. They have their, they're in their nests. You have to clear the nest if you want to open up the fast travel. You have to keep that bike in tip-top shape. You have to make sure you always have enough gas. You have to maintain the bike at all times. And one thing I kept seeing is that when you are riding your bike, and you have to make jumps, keep your wheels straight or you're going to cause damage to the bike. And you want to keep that bike in the best shape possible. Don't spend too much time looting because there's always someone looking to take you out. Loot as much as you can, but I know I love to loot and I could get, stuck looting and get killed in the meantime. So I'm going to have to be mindful of that when I'm playing. Do not attempt to take out a horde until you are fully upgraded. Girl, listen to me and listen to me good. You do not want to take on a horde when you are not upgraded enough, when you do not have your shit together. Let's put it that way. Okay, so have all of your upgrades. Upgrade as much as you can before you decide to take on that horde because you will get wrecked. Okay, so I know I'm probably forgetting some things. This is as much as I've gathered in the little bit of information that they have given us. I read almost every review and I've watched almost every video possible. So like I said, I am so excited to play this game. I give Ben Studio all the credit in the world because they took all the feedback. It seems like even from the very beginning, they've been taking the feedback from the people who have test played it, people in the industry, and they have taken that feedback and they've made a better game before it releases. Like, thank God. Like, can you imagine? These people have been working on this game for at least 5 years, at least 5 to 6 years spent on it. And like, you're living in it, you're breathing in it, and you have no outside there's no outside influences, so you think it's great because you've been and there's like, oh wait, this could be better. It is great, but it could be better if you did this. And I think it's so important that they've been so transparent and they've been taking the feedback and they've been making it work. They've been fine-tuning this game. They've been polishing it, and I thought it looked great before. I had no complaints before, but now when I see what they've done to improve it, I'm even more excited to play it, and I'm even more hyped to get my hands on it. April 26th, this world comes for you. I know I'm going to be I'm already obsessed with this game. I can't wait to play it. I'll be playing it on my channel. Please stay tuned. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. These guys and girls and everybody at Ben Studio have been working so hard in this game. Give them all the love. Show them all the love for this game. And I can't wait to play it. I'm so excited for it. I can't wait to use the stealth. I can't wait to use all the weapons. I can't wait to be terrified. There's going to be a lot of screaming going on in this game, I can tell. But what I'm really looking forward to the most, my final thoughts, is that I'm so glad we get to see Sarah and Deacon's story. Whatever it is, however it ends, I'm there for the ride. No pun intended. I am literally there for the ride from start to finish. I can't wait to see their full-on origin story and how it develops and how their relationship affects Deacon and the world he lives in now. I am a sucker for a good story-driven game is my zhuzh. I love it, and I am so ready for it. So guys, thanks so much for watching this video. If you like this video and my shenanigans on this channel, please leave me a like and subscribe. I can't get a subscriber to save my life. Thanks so much for watching. If you can, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Every little bit helps. Help this girl out. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back with more.